Jesus, Jason. Stop spam calling me at work. What's wrong?
What the heck was today's lunchbox? You think it's acceptable to send me to work with that crap?
Your lunchbox? What about it?
Don't play dumb with me, bitch! I can tell the difference between fresh and frozen ingredients. Do not cut corners with my meals.
Wow, what the hell? Where do you get off speaking to me like that? Did you seriously call me 25 times while I was at work over your freaking lunchbox? I was in the middle of an important meeting.
What could possibly be more important than my lunchbox?
Is this a joke?
Why aren't you doing your job properly? Do you have any idea how badly your lunchbox embarrassed me? I couldn't be seen eating that frozen poor people's slop in front of my coworkers. But still, I had to eat. So I ate it in a toilet cubicle instead.
You didn't have to do that. No one cares about your lunchbox, Jason. Besides, even if they did care, how do you expect anyone to know the difference between frozen and fresh by looking at it across a dinner table?
No. I knew, so why wouldn't they? You want me to be known as the guy who eats peasant lunchboxes, do ya? Don't ever embarrass me like that again.
Who even cares about stuff like that? You know what? If my lunchboxes are so awful, you can start fixing your own lunches. I get up first thing every morning to make sure you have something to eat at work in spite of the fact I always have early meetings to go to. I don't have the time to make everything with fresh ingredients by hand all the time.
Are you really a woman?
Obviously I am. Why?
If you're really a woman, why can't you cook? No self-respecting woman would make a lunchbox like that.
You're deluded if you think being a woman alone equates to cooking ability. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses regardless of gender.
Oh yeah? Well, my mom doesn't just make the most delicious food in the world. She also does the housework perfectly.
And so the dreaded mom comparisons begin. When are you going to stop comparing me with her? We're different people. Your mom's been a stay-at-home housewife for over 30 years. I work full-time at a very stressful job, so just stop this crap already. You may as well be comparing apples to oranges.
It's only natural for me to compare you. There wasn't a single speck of dust to be found in my mom's place back when I lived with her before we got married. There were no mountains of unwashed laundry of the kind that are a daily occurrence in the dump we call a home. She cooked me 3 meals a day with fresh ingredients by hand.
Great! So your mom's a stay-at-home housewife and I'm not. What's your point? Me and you work full-time. How can you possibly compare us? You have no idea how hard it is to run a household because you've never lived on your own.
What a joke! How hard can housework be? You'd never catch my mom complaining like this. She keeps the house in perfect condition, and she does it with a smile on her face. You're just lazy and incompetent.
And you don't have a clue what you're talking about, man-child. If your mommy's cooking is so amazing, why don't you pack your things and scoot back off to her place where you can be waited on hand and foot 24/7?
Why you gotta turn on me like this, huh? You're so freaking antagonistic. God, you make me mad.
I make you mad? Give me a break. Not only do you disturb me with trivial crap while I'm at work, but you're constantly crying about trivial crap while I'm at home too.
Who the hell do you think you're speaking to, woman? You will show the man of this house his proper respect. You said you'd do your best to juggle the housework with work before we got married. Stop breaking your promise.
That was back when I had no idea how aggressively you were gonna force it on me. Would it really kill you to do some of it yourself? It couldn't be any more obvious your parents never made you lift a finger at home.
No, I just didn't have to because my mom did her job as a woman, unlike you. You could learn a thing or two from her. When the heck aren't you home, woman? Do you know what time it is? It's almost 10 p.m. You better not be doing overtime. Holy mother of God. Did you go out drinking with your girlfriends without my permission?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did exactly like I told you I would before I went to work this morning.
I never gave you permission to do that. I made it very clear that you would not be going out for drinks with the girls. I don't give a heck how much you think you need to let your hair down.
I don't need your permission to go out with my friends, Jason.
Oh, yes, you do!
Christ! Calm down, you psycho. It's just a little get-together with my coworkers. I could hardly be the only no-show. And what exactly is the problem with me being there?
Because you're not here doing the housework. Do you have any idea how much laundry is piled up in the kitchen? Who the hell do you think you are, slacking off on your duties at home to go out and get wasted like this? You're a disgrace to the female race.
A disgrace to the female... You know what? Forget it. I don't have the energy to deal with you anymore. What's the harm in me going out for one night? I never get to go out. You always go out for drinks with your buddies. Why is it one rule for you and another for me? You go out at least twice a week, every week, no matter what. This is unfair, and you know it.
I can do what I want, I'm a man.
I don't understand your logic. Why do you get to go out with your friends and I don't? Just because I'm a woman?
Because a woman's place is in the kitchen, cooking my supper.
I didn't realize I was married to a caveman. Did you time travel from the Stone Age? I should start calling you Grug. You know what, Grug? You're gonna have to go out and hunt your own supper tonight.
Don't get clever with me, woman. Use your brain. One of us has to stay home and watch the house.
Sure, but that still doesn't. I should be able to go out sometimes. I work so hard at home. Would it hurt you so much to let me go out for one measly night out once in a blue moon? I'm a human being too, you know. It's not like I don't enjoy doing all the housework, but I'd go crazy if I was stuck at home all the time. I'm your wife, not your maid.
I'm so disappointed in you, Maria. You're clearly not serious about your role as my wife.
How so?
If you were, you wouldn't send me to work with cheap frozen crap in my lunchbox. And you wouldn't go out to get wasted with your girlfriends with mountains of laundry sat at home. You're not fit to call yourself a wife.
How many times do I have to tell you I'm not a stay-at-home housewife? I work full-time and bring a lot of money home every month. My contribution might not be in line with your antiquated view of how the world should be, but I contribute nonetheless. I'm juggling the housework with my job and you have no right to complain at me.
You bring home a lot of money? I've met homeless people who make more money than you.
Excuse me?
You could quit your job today and it wouldn't affect our finances. And Dad wouldn't even notice. You know, I always wanted you to stay home and look after me and the house full time. The only reason I allowed you to carry on working is because I'm kind. But if you're gonna neglect the house this much, I'm gonna have no choice but to make you quit your job and ban you from working.
Who do you think you are? Why do I need your permission to do anything?
I am the man of this house. My word is law.
You're pathetic, Jason. Give it a break already. There's no way I'm quitting my job. I worked so hard at this company to get where I am today. Why should I throw it all away?
Then start doing the damn housework properly. I tell you what, if you don't start making this house sparkle soon, we're getting a divorce.
Well, now I've heard it all. Why would you even say something like that?
My patience has reached its limit.
That's my line.
You'd never be able to cope without me. If we get a divorce, your life is as good as over. How are you gonna get by without my salary popping you up? You'd be a crumpled, tear-stained mess on the floor the moment you heard my words.
Where does this inexplicable confidence of yours come from? It'd be impressive if it wasn't so tragic.
You can say what you like. I know you're head over heels in love with me. You're the one who asked me out, remember? You'd be in floods of tears if I dumped you.
But what if I wasn't? What if I was actually pleased?
No chance. You're the one who's always all over me like a bad rash whenever we're together. It's obvious you're madly in love with me. And why wouldn't you be? I'm good-looking, intelligent, witty, confident, charismatic, tall, have a good job, well-endowed, and most importantly, humble.
Have you heard of the word narcissist before?
Stop trying to sound clever with big fancy words, babe. It doesn't suit you.
I guess it makes no difference to me whether your head's stuck up your own ass. Divorce is fine by me.
Hey, watch your mouth! Suggest you choose your next words very carefully. You should know I won't take you back no matter how desperately you cling.
Don't worry, there's no danger of that. Desperately clinging to the likes of you is the last thing on my mind.
Sup, it's been a while. Living a life of tragic despair after the divorce, are we? Should I be a gentleman and send you some sympathy money?
What do you want? I don't need your money.
Geez, Maria, I only offer because I was worried about you. Anyone would think you'd be more grateful. Go on, admit you're hopelessly broke, depressed, and struggling to find a reason to live without me. Let's face it, it's basically over for you after getting dumped at your ripe old age.
Why would I be depressed?
You don't have to put on a bold front with me, Maria. It's obvious you're hurting inside. Listen, babe, I'm such a nice guy. I'm willing to remarry if you apologize. But only if you promise to fulfill your womanly duties and never disobey me this time.
Thanks for the offer, but I'm fine as I am. I'm about 1,000,000 times happier than I was when we were together. This luxury high-rise apartment is great.
Huh? Luxury high-rise apartment? What?
Yep, I moved into those new luxury high-rise apartments on 5th Street. The views to die for, especially at night. I can see the whole cityscape. The rooms are so gorgeous, and the security system's world-class.
What the hell? How the heck is a brokey like you living in the new apartment block on 5th Street? I heard there were A-listers living there.
A brokey? How much do you think I make? I mean, sure, it's not like I'm the one who pays the rent.
You don't pay rent? How is it possible?
A special someone's letting me live here with them. It's my boyfriend's apartment.
You have a boyfriend? But it's barely been 6 months since the divorce.
So, divorced means divorced. I'll do as I please.
No way! What kind of fruitcake would want you as their girlfriend? Man, some people have the strangest taste.
I was surprised too, but I have tons of guys making advances at me as soon as we divorced.
As soon as we divorced? Wait, you mean they had your sights on you the whole time?
This might be a tough one for you to swallow, but there are some guys who are actually into girls who are committed to their careers. My current boyfriend is one of those guys who invited me on a date after the divorce. Unlike you, he actually respects me. We split the housework 50-50. Plus, he's handsome and ripped. He's amazing. I feel like I hit the jackpot.
What the hell is this? So, you pick guys based on their willingness to do housework now. The only reason any guy would do housework is because they don't have any confidence in their ability to do their job. So you bagged yourself a wet noodle of a man and actually think that's something worthy of bragging about? Even if he does live in a luxury apartment, an apartment is still an apartment. If he was really all that special, he'd live in a house or a mansion.
Oh no, he earns way more than you. He outclasses you so hard in every possible way you might as well be called different species. You're definitely not in any position to be criticizing him, brokey.
Yeah, he does? How did you meet a guy like that? And so quickly?
We've known each other for a while, actually. He's one of my major clients at work. He said he'd had a thing for me a while, but he never made any moves because he knew I was married. He was so pleased when he found out I was single. By the way, he works for a company so big, there's pretty much no one on the planet who hasn't heard of them.
So you got over the crushing heartbreak of losing me by finding someone richer? You shameless parasite! I always knew you were a worthless good-for-nothing.
The only parasite here is you. I'm not interested in him for his money.
You just said he was paying your rent. That could only mean he's covering all your living expenses. You goddamn gravy train riding, freeloading, gold-digging leech!
What makes you think that? The only reason I don't pay rent is because there is no rent. The apartment belongs to him.
He owns an apartment in the luxury high-rise on 5th Street? Just how rich is he?
We split the utilities. I either buy my own food or we go halves from month to month. I have plenty of money on my own. And when there's something to be paid, I pay it. I have no need to parasite like you seem to think I do.
But you barely make anything. How could someone like you be with someone so rich? He's out of your league. You'll never last.
The thing is, Jason, you don't actually know how much money I make, do you? Go on, have a guess. What's my monthly take-home?
$1,000 at best.
Oh no. Is that your final answer?
Is it wrong? Didn't you say that before?
That was before we got married. Plus, it was before I got my new job. Of course, how could you possibly know how much I make these days? I never told you. You left all the taxes and bills to me, so it's not like you could have found out that way either. How silly of me. Of course you didn't know.
Well, tell me then, how much do you make?
$4,000 a month.
After taxes?
After taxes.
You're lying. No way. There's no way you make more money than me.
It's the truth. That's why I always wondered what the hell you were talking about when you got carried away bragging about your salary. To think you actually thought I'd struggle without you, it's hilarious. I'm not struggling for money, and I'm not struggling for men.
Well, why didn't you tell me that you'd made that much before you divorced?
If anything, aren't you the one struggling without me? There's not much hope of you doing the housework or laundry. I doubt you'd know where to start. I bet the house is overflowing with garbage.
No, it's not. My mom comes over to do the cleaning.
Of course. How could I forget your mother complex? Of course. Your mommy's gonna come over and wipe your bottom if you're a man-child and capable of taking care of himself. How foolish of me not to realize.
I do not have a mother complex.
I don't know, Jason. It doesn't look good. What kind of 35-year-old can't get by without his mommy coming over to clean up after him? Pathetic.
You shut your mouth! Actually, I'm having a blast without you around. Things have never been better. Divorcing you was like having the most enormous weight lifted off my shoulders. Best decision I ever made.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm pleased for you. I hope you carry on having a blast. I couldn't be happier either.
I'm begging you, please come home.
Uh-huh? Excuse me? Where did that come from?
I want us to give things another shot. Please come home.
Are you insane? Didn't you say divorcing me felt like having the weight lifted from your shoulders? I thought you were having a blast.
I was just trying to put on a brave face. I was jealous because you had this happy new life and I was all alone. Miserable and depressed, so I lied. I'm lost without you.
Lost? If it's the housework you're talking about, surely you can get your mom to do it.
I don't mean the housework, I mean financially.
Huh? Money? But I don't remember your salary being that low. Even if you do make less than a third of the money I do, surely you can still live comfortably as long as you spend within your means.
The payment reminder letters started showing up not long after the divorce.
For the credit card?
There is that, but then there's the loans I took out. And then there's the repayments on my college debt, tax arrears, and a bunch of other stuff.
You mean you haven't been paying all that stuff? Freaking tax arrears? Jesus, Jason.
I had no idea how much I was spending every month. I was kind of just coasting by without paying the finances much mind. And before I knew it, my bank account was empty.
I see. I guess it was me who used to be taking care of paying off all that stuff. So you carried on living exactly as you were while we were married on 2 salaries? Obviously, things were gonna get rough for you. Didn't you make any effort to adjust your spending to your new situation?
I had no idea how much I was spending every month. When I finally realized I had loan repayments to keep on top of, I had no money left.
When you say loans, do you mean the ones you took out for the stuff like the car, the motorbike, and your guitar? I told you you were the one being irresponsible back then, but you didn't listen.
The repayment dates were closing in and I didn't want the interest to add up. So I took out another loan to pay off my loans. Now I'm up to my ears in debt and don't have a clue what to do.
Right. You're stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. It's a vicious cycle.
Exactly!
Sorry, but I'm not helping you. You're the one who divorced me. I was willing to try and make things work. But you're on your own now. Take responsibility for your own mistakes.
But I'm finished at this rate. Please, I have no one else to turn to. I'm begging you. Please help.
Why don't you see if Mommy will give you some pocket money? She's always the first one you run crying to when you're struggling. So why me now?
I did ask my mom, but she said no. Things are tight enough for her as it is on her retirement fund. She can't afford to spare anything.
Figure it out yourself then. I'm living happily with my new boyfriend. I have absolutely no intention of taking you back. Me and Chad are getting married next year.
We've barely been divorced for 5 minutes and remarriage is already on the cards. Oh my God, Maria. How could you do this to me?
What the hell? You divorced me, Jason. What are you even saying? Besides, it'll have been over a year by then. We started dating on the premise of marriage from the get-go. You have no right to complain about anything.
Aren't we happy together, babe? Didn't we have something special? You're my sugar dumpling and I your honey pie.
Sure. To begin with, things soon went south when you thought you had me trapped. Looking back on it, all you did was hold me back. My relationship with Chad couldn't be any more different. We're equal partners and he doesn't try and make me treat him like my lord and master.
You're right, babe. I was arrogant. I swear I'll never do anything like that again. You said yourself things were good at the start. We can go back to that, can't we? I swear I'll make you happy this time.
You couldn't possibly make me happy. Even if we did live together, you'd only leech me off like the parasite you are. I'd have to be crazy to take you back. Because I think a husband and a wife should be equals. Goodbye. I heard through the grapevine that my struggling ex-husband worked day and night, holding down 3 jobs to keep on top of his exorbitant debt repayments. The divorce with me was the first time in his life he'd ever lived on his own. Predictably, he had absolutely no conception of how much things cost, or how to plan a sensible budget, and as a result, well, you read the messages. I did at least expect him to put a little thought into planning out his new life. I guess I overestimated him. Not only did Jason have no idea how much things, taxes, or utilities cost, he also had no idea how to pay them. It's hard to believe people like him exist. It's even harder to believe I was married to one. I told my new boyfriend all about my ex-husband and his weird and whimsical shenanigans. He looked at me with a perplexed frown and said, "You married a guy like that? Didn't you feel like you were a little mismatched?" Needless to say, he was confused to say at least. Looking back, I can't help but ask myself the same thing. Why did I marry Jason?